So late last week, the DHS put out this memo talking about how there could potentially be some security concerns with Chinese manufactured drones. Now, while they didn't mention any one brand specifically, we damn well know who they're talking about. Stick around. What's up? Welcome back, everybody. My name is Original Dobo, and if this is your first time here on my channel, I talk about drone and tech related content here. So if that's at all interesting, definitely go ahead, smash that subscribe button before you leave this video. So the Department of Homeland Security has a couple of concerns with drones that are made overseas, primarily in China. And let's face it, about 80% of all drones that are here in the US are a DJI product. I think like 1% is unique. But anyways, they have concerns that the data being transmitted back and forth would give unfeathered access to the government beyond the company itself. Like, let's say DJI, that would mean that the Chinese government would have access to our data. Honestly, I don't really know what they would be able to do with that data, but there is pause for concern. Now, DJI, without even being prompted or mentioned, did get out in front of this and basically say, hey, no. The data is always yours. You have complete and utter control of how it's being sent or handled. And that's even more true on the enterprise side of life. I know, for instance, my Mavic 2 Dual has encrypted storage, which means basically if I want to choose to encrypt my SD card or internal storage, if that drone goes down, there is no way to figure out any of that information on there without actually recouping that device. And even more so on enterprise products, you can turn on whether or not it actually transmits data or not, which is a pretty neat feature. And I would love to see that come to more of the hobbyist drones, obviously to ease security concerns or privacy fears that, let's face it, in a world of the post-Snowden fallout, everybody's concerned about their privacy. And with Facebook continuously having data breaches, people are just naturally concerned, more so now than ever. But honestly, after reading this and reading DJI's response, which I'm not going to go into it in detail, but I'll be sure to link it down below, I don't really have any concerns, nor can I say that I ever have. I've never actually paused to stop and think that my data was being transmitted somewhere, or I had a fear of any of my private information being transmitted. On a drone, I mean, what really is there? Your address, possibly, maybe credit card information, but beyond that, not a lot. There's not a lot of private data that they really have. So the other thing that I find interesting with this whole memo that they put out is they're basing this on a lot of possibility and not a matter of fact. And I think that's more dangerous. They're sort of piggybacking off of the research they've done on Huawei and sort of lumping drones into this genre of tech. Yes, the military does not use any sort of foreign drones like DJI, but law enforcement here in the States do. And I don't think it's really fair to lump them into this or lump any drone into this without any proper investigation or research, or at least provide evidence that this could potentially be happening, I should say. So it's a little weird. I feel that this trade war is really sparking a lot of rabbit holes in which, different departments are going to go down. And obviously this is one that they've chosen. So beyond just price increases, hopefully nothing else happens like what we've seen with Huawei, because if it does, that can spell absolute disaster for the drone industry and specifically DJI, because this is the #1 drone manufacturer in the world. And they're also, I would say, on the bleeding edge of innovation when it comes to UAVs. So a little interesting. I felt it was worth a mention just because a lot of times when I'm reading through my comments, I always see talk of privacy issues when it comes to DJI. And honestly, I've never had a concern or worry, and I don't think you should either. But, again, make your own call when it comes to this. And I would love to hear what you all think. Have you ever stopped and said, maybe my data isn't really private with DJI or any drone manufacturer for that instance, even though they say they're not transmitting, even though they say they aren't tracking information? I don't know. Never really worried about it. But honestly, I don't think it's really worth, stressing over. Hopefully, again, this trade war gets kiboshed soon enough and we can get back to like normalcy somehow, sometime soon. But anyways, let me know what you think. And also just briefly, I just want to mention this. I didn't even want to mention this, but I've been getting hammered over the way I talk in videos and things I say. Honestly, if anybody, not just the trolls, but if you have a problem with the way I talk or say things or pronounce something, because I don't care. This is how I am. This is how I've always been, and I'm not changing. Stay original.